My sugar daddy woke up. He lied to me about going bankrupt to make me leave him. Just as I was about to agree, I suddenly saw some floating comments. The evil female lead never saw this coming. The male lead awakened and discovered she's a gold digger. So he's pretending to be bankrupt to come his losses in time. Poor male lead. Even though he's awakened, when the female lead leaves, he'll still sadly chase after her. Above commenter, if the male lead doesn't chase, how will the female lead appear to comfort him? So I'm supposed to be the matchmaker between the male and female leads. Unfortunately, I don't have the generosity to help others find love. I secretly pinched my waist and forced out a tear. Then right in front of Ryan, I took off my diamond-studded Pat Felipe watch and handed it to him. He instinctively took it looking confused. What's this for? I wiped away the tear I'd barely managed to squeeze out. What else could it be? Of course it's for you. Ryan's face darkened. Lucy, what do you mean? What do you take me for? A gigolo? How could he think that? Have you ever seen a gigolo this rich and cunning? I hugged his lean waist, topping a feel while I was at it. Of course not, Ryan. This watch is for you to use as start capital. Ryan forcefully broke free from my embrace, gripping my shoulders. You're not leaving. I blinked my big eyes at him. Why would I leave? He stayed silent. I huffed and playfully punched his biceps, pouting. Ryan, what do you take me for? If I left just because she went bankrupt, would I even be human? Ryan had always been thin-skinned. My words left him speechless. After a long pause, he finally said, the Johnson Corporation kicked me out and my own company went bankrupt. Stay with me means you'll suffer. Your grandmother's in the hospital and needs expensive treatment every day. Without money, how will you pay her medical bills? Oh right, I almost forgot about that. When I first agreed to be Ryan's mistress, I used the excuse that my grandmother's hospitalization required a lot of money. In reality, I'd already bought comprehensive insurance for grandma. Her hospital bills looked expensive, but most were covered by insurance. It barely cost anything. I pretended to look down sadly. It doesn't matter. Worst case, I'll get a job. I only want you anyway. Then I forced a brave smile. Ryan, you used to take care of me. Now I'll take care of you. Ryan seemed moved and hugged me tightly, swearing, Lucy, I'm so lucky to have you. I hugged him back, watching the endless stream of comments. Female lead, keep pretending next you'll be selling jewelry and bags to run away. Oh, what's wrong with the male lead? How can he so easily believe the evil female lead? Male lead, wake up. She's totally be a gold digger. Don't you think? The male lead smile is a bit sinister. He obviously doesn't believe the female lead girl above. Don't be so paranoid. He's totally in love. Okay. The next day, Ryan left early in the morning. When I asked where he was going, he said to figure out how to raise money. I tearfully saw him off. After he left, I quickly got up and, following what the comments said, searched for all the luxury items Ryan had given me. Just as I was happily rummaging through everything, more comments appeared. See, the evil female lead can't handle any hardship. She's planning to run away. The male lead, watching through surveillance, is about to crush his phone. He's so obsessed. There are cameras everywhere except the bathroom. I paused while searching through the jewelry. What cameras? Everywhere in the house. Then I'll play along with his game. Ryan was generous with his spending on me. In 3 years, I'd accumulated quite a lot from him. It took a full hour to gather everything. After packing, I took out my phone and photographed the pile of bags and jewelry in the living room, sending it to David. David was Ryan's friend who owned several luxury consignment shops. Call came quickly. The moment I answered, he started yelling, Lucy, I knew you were a gold digger. You're selling all the gifts Ryan carefully picked for you. I said coyly, oh come on, just tell me if you want them or not. He gagged on the other end. Don't use that tone with me. I'm not Ryan. I don't fall for your act. Do you want them or not? If not, I'll give them to someone else. David shouted, yes. I want them. Wait for me. He hung up immediately. David and his appraiser arrived quickly. The appraiser's eyes lit up seeing the room full of bags and jewelry. All the jewelry had professional certificates, making authentication easy. After the appraisal, David waved his hand and bought everything. He looked at me disdainfully. Does Ryan know you're selling these? I looked down glumly. Don't tell Ryan about this. David had that I knew it expression. You gold digger me doing good deeds. Get me called a gold digger. Of course not. So I walked closer to David and whispered in his ear. You do this, then do that. Remember, don't tell Ryan I asked you to do this. David's ears turned red. After my few sentences, his expression changed from disdain to shock to admiration. Sister Lucy, you're not a gold digger. You're my goddess. After flattering me, David left with the appraiser. They came empty-handed, but left with suitcases. Looking at the empty living room, I felt nervous. Looking up, I saw comments floating by. I told you, the evil female lead would definitely sell the jewelry and run away. If the male lead's car hadn't broken down, he would have caught her red-handed. If the male lead's car didn't break down, how would the evil female lead escape? If she doesn't escape, how will the male lead chase her to the airport in a subordinate's car? If he doesn't chase her, how will he get in an accident and be saved by the female lead? Exactly. This is a redemption story. Can't wait for the female lead to appear. I scoffed. So the female lead hasn't even appeared yet. Ryan found me chatting with the security guard at the gate. He dragged me away with a dark expression and pulled me back to the villa without a word. The moment the villa door closed, my heart trembled. What trick are you playing now? Ryan loosened his tie with one hand and, ignoring my protests, tied my hands with it. He leaned down, gripping my chin. Weren't you going to run? Why didn't you? I said innocently. Run from what? Ryan grabbed my arm and forcibly dragged me to the room, pointing at the empty cabinet I'd opened. Where are all the things I gave you? I lowered my head and whispered. I sold them all. Ryan's anger skyrocketed. Just as he was about to explode, a notification sound rang. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Bank deposit, $10 million. Then his phone rang. Ryan glanced at the caller ID. hung up and was about to pocket it when it rang again. Only then did he answer. I caught a glimpse it was David. They talked for a while before Ryan hung up. After ending the call, he looked at me with complete guilt. You did so much for me. Why didn't you tell me? Tears poured from my eyes. But I didn't speak. Ryan untied my hands and held me. Lucy, stop crying. It breaks my heart when you cry. I'll never doubt you again. I'm sorry. Comments floated with his words. A male lead. What are you doing? If you don't leave now, you'll miss the female lead. Laughing to death. The female lead has passed by 3 times. And still hasn't bumped into the male lead. I feel like the female lead is the real NPC. The female lead is changing strategies. Doesn't she know she'll die if she doesn't go abroad? I let out a surprised sound while enjoying the gossip. What? I'll die if I don't go abroad? I wanted to keep reading comments. But Ryan covered my eyes with his large hand. Lucy, don't get distracted right now, okay? I struggled, dude. I'm not getting distracted. I'm trying to save my own life. I'm not. MMA. HM. Monsieur Lucy. Be good. Let's do what adults should do. I'll never doubt you again, Lucy. Actually, I did. I kissed Ryan back, not letting him reveal the truth. If I knew the truth this early, how could I continue making trouble? How could I fight for my maximum benefit? You played me and think some sweet words can appease me. Dream on, Mr. Johnson. You spoiled my appetite. So you're responsible for the after-sale service? The morning sun filtered through the silk curtains of the Johnson villa, but the atmosphere inside was far from serene. Ryan sat on the edge of the bed, his head in his hands. The $10 million David had loaned him, money actually sourced from Lucy's liquidated jewelry, felt like 10 million lead weights on his conscience. I sat at the vanity, carefully applying a layer of expensive serum. Through the mirror, I watched the comments drifting across my vision like digital snow. Look at the ML's face. He looks like he's about to cry. Pathetic. He thought he was the hunter, but Lucy turned him into a kicked puppy. Wait, look at the bottom right corner. The original female lead, Sarah, is finally at the hospital. She's looking for Ryan. My hand paused. Sarah, the pure girl who was supposed to heal Ryan's bankrupt soul. According to the script, she was supposed to find him wandering the streets after his mistress, me, abandoned him. But since I hadn't abandoned him, the plot was struggling to realign. Lucy, Ryan's voice was hoarse. He walked over and stood behind me, his hands resting on my shoulders. I have something to tell you. Is it about the bankruptcy? I asked, my voice trembling with practiced fragility. Did the bank take the house? Ryan winced. He couldn't tell me the truth, that the Johnson Corporation was perfectly fine, and this was all a psychological test to see if I was a gold digger. If he admitted it now, he knew I'd never forgive him. No, he lied, his eyes dodging mine. David's loan gave me a breathing room. But Lucy, you shouldn't have sold those things. I gave them to you to keep you safe. I don't need things to be safe, Ryan, I whispered, turning around to face him. I just need you. But, if you ever lie to me again, I won't just sell the jewelry. I'll disappear so thoroughly you'll think I was a hallucination. System warning. The male lead's heart rate is at 140 BPM. He's terrified. Ooh, the OFL just saw Ryan's car. She's running toward it. I blinked. My life was at stake here. Ryan, I'm suddenly craving those macarons from the shop across town. The one near the park? Can you go get them for me? Personally. If I could send him toward the park, he'd avoid the hospital entrance where Sarah was waiting. Ryan, desperate to atone, nodded instantly. Anything. Stay here. Don't open the door for anyone. As soon as his engine roared in the driveway, I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. I spent the afternoon watching the comments. The redemption arc of the original female lead was falling apart in real time. The OFL tripped in front of a random passerby, because Ryan wasn't there to catch her. LOL. She's crying in the rain now. The director must be fuming. Warning. Warning. The world consciousness is correcting the error. If the female lead cannot meet the male lead, the antagonist, Lucy, will face a life-threatening event to force a plot transition. I froze. What life-threatening event? I hissed at the empty room. Check the kitchen, girl. The stove. I bolted for the kitchen. A gas leak. How cliched. I turned off the valves and opened all the windows, my heart pounding. The world really wanted me dead so Sarah could have her happily ever after. By the time Ryan returned with the macarons, I was sitting on the porch, wrapped in a blanket, looking pale. Lucy, why are the windows open? It's freezing. Ryan rushed to me, dropping the expensive boxes. I smelled gas, I said, my voice small. Ryan, I think this house is unlucky. Maybe we should go abroad? Just for a few months? I have some savings. We can live simply in Italy or France. I needed to get out of the plot zone. Ryan's expression darkened. He thought I was still worried about the bankruptcy. He knelt before me, taking my cold hands in his. We don't need to go anywhere. I'm going to fix everything. Tomorrow I'm going to take back the Johnson Corporation. He's going to reveal his true identity tomorrow. Huge climax incoming. If he reveals he's still rich, will Lucy act surprised? Forget that. Look, Sarah is outside the villa gates. She followed his car. I looked toward the iron gates. A girl in a simple white dress, looking like a drowned rat, was shivering near the intercom. Sarah, the girl whose destiny I had stolen. There's someone at the gate, I said, pointing. Ryan looked, his brow furrowed. I don't know her. She looks like she's suffering, I said, feeling a strange surge of curiosity. Let's see what she wants. We walked to the gate. Sarah looked up, her eyes wide and watery. She looked exactly like the kind of girl Ryan should love, pure, helpless, and morally upright. And Mr. Johnson, she stammered. I found your wallet at the hospital earlier. I wanted to return it. She held out a leather wallet. It was indeed Ryan's. The wallet plot. It's happening. This is where they're supposed to lock eyes and feel a soul connection. I watched Ryan. He took the wallet with a polite, stiff nod. Thank you. You could have left it with the guard. I wanted to make sure it reached you. I heard. I heard things were difficult for you lately, Sarah whispered, her gaze lingering on his face. If you need a friend, someone who doesn't care about money. She threw a pointed look at me, draped in my silk robe and designer slippers. I let out a soft laugh. Oh honey, everyone cares about money. Some of us are just honest about it. Ryan's arm tightened around my waist. He didn't even look at Sarah. My wife, he caught himself. Lucy is the only friend I need. Here's $100 for your trouble. Have a safe trip home. He handed her a bill and signaled the guard to escort her away. Ouch. The pure FL just got tipped like a waitress. Lucy is savage. But look, the comments are turning red. Death flag activated. Lucy has rejected the plot twice. The accident will occur in 5, 4, 3. I didn't wait for one. I grabbed Ryan and pulled him behind a stone pillar just as a rogue delivery truck lost control and smashed through the gate, right where we had been standing seconds ago. Sarah screamed. The truck missed her, but the sheer force of the impact sent debris flying. Ryan held me so tightly I could barely breathe. Lucy, are you hurt? I looked at the wreckage. The world was getting desperate. If it couldn't kill me with gas, it would use a truck. We're going to the airport, I gasped, clutching his shirt. Now Ryan, no bucks, no deals. Just get me out of this country. Ryan, seeing me genuinely terrified for the first time, didn't ask questions. He called his private pilot. We were in the air by midnight. As the lights of the city faded beneath the wing of the Gulf Stream, the floating comments finally slowed down. They actually left. The plot is broken. The female lead Sarah is currently being questioned by police about the truck accident. Poor thing. Wait, if they're in international airspace, the world script can't track them as easily. Lucy, you genius. I leaned back in the plush leather seat, sipping a glass of vintage champagne. Ryan was sitting across from me, watching me with an intensity that made my skin tingle. Now, he said, his voice dropping to that dangerous low register. Tell me the truth, Lucy. You knew about the gas. You knew about the truck. You've been acting like you're being hunted. Who is after you? I looked at him. How could I explain that the author of this world was trying to delete me? I just have a feeling, I said, playing with the bubbles in my glass. A woman's intuition. And besides, I like it when we're alone. No Davids, no grande moteurs, no bankruptcies. Ryan stood up and moved to my side of the cabin, looming over me. The bankruptcy is over, Lucy. I never lost a dime. It was a test. I wanted to see if you were with me for the Johnson name or for Ryan. I pretended to gasp, dropping my glass onto the thick carpet. You lied? All that time I was selling my bags. I cried for you. And I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you, he whispered, his lips brushing against my ear. Every bag, every diamond, 10 times over. But first, I need to know you're mine, not the money's. Me. He kissed me, and for once I didn't check the comments. We settled in a villa in Lake Como. For 2 weeks, the world was perfect. Ryan showered me with new gifts, custom-made pieces from Milan that made my old jewelry look like costume pieces. He was obsessive, rarely letting me out of his sight. But the comments never truly disappeared. The OFL Sarah has been scouted by a modeling agency. She's becoming famous. She's coming to Milan for Fashion Week. The plot is dragging her toward Lucy. Warning, if the antagonist and the female lead meet on holy ground, a major event, the death flag will reappear. I looked at the invitation on the marble table. The Versace gala in Milan. Ryan wanted to take me. It was his way of officially introducing me as his fiancée to the European elite. I'm not going, I said, tossing the card aside. Ryan, who was looking at some business documents, looked up. Why not? You love Versace. I've already had a gown commissioned. I have a headache, I lied. Ryan thinks you're bored of him. His obsession meter is rising. He's thinking about locking you in the villa. I sighed. Being a mistress turned fiancé was exhausting. Ryan, let's just stay here. We can have a private dinner on the boat. He walked over and knelt between my legs, his eyes dark. Lucy, you've been distant. Ever since we landed. Is it because the test is over? Do you miss the thrill of the struggle? I miss not feeling like the sky is about to fall, I muttered. I am the sky, he said, his voice possessive. And I'm not going anywhere. We're going to that gala. You're going to wear the Johnson diamonds, and everyone will know who you belong to. Milan was a blur of flashing lights and velvet ropes. I wore a gown that cost more than a suburban house, but I felt like I was wearing a Target. As we entered the ballroom, the comments went wild. Sarah is here. She's the new face of the season. She looks stunning. The halo effect is real. The collision is in 3, 2, 1. I turned a corner and there she was. Sarah. She wasn't the shivering girl from the gate anymore. She was draped in silver, looking like a moon goddess. When she saw Ryan, her eyes lit up. Mr. Johnson, she exclaimed, stepping forward. I didn't think I'd see you here. My agency brought me. I've had so much luck since that day at your house. Ryan gave her a curt, professional nod. Congratulations. He tried to move past, but the world consciousness wasn't done. A waiter tripped, sending a tray of red wine flying toward my white gown. I was ready. I leaned back, but Sarah, acting on pure FL instinct, leaped forward to save me. The wine drenched her instead. She looked up at Ryan, shivering, a perfect picture of a beautiful martyr. Oh no, Sarah gasped. Your beautiful dress. I'm so glad I caught it. The sacrifice play. Ryan is supposed to feel moved now. He's going to offer her his jacket. I watched Ryan. He looked at Sarah, then at me. Then he took off his jacket. He wrapped it around me. Are you okay, Lucy? He asked, ignoring the wine-soaked girl at his feet. Did any of it touch you? I'm fine, Ryan. But she's a mess, I said, feeling almost sorry for her. Someone get this woman a towel, Ryan said to a nearby attendant. Then he looked Sarah in the eye. Thank you for your assistance. My assistant will send a replacement dress to your agency. He walked me away before she could even say thank you. Plot shattered. The OFL is literally crying in a corner. The heroine's halo is flickering. Lucy, you've officially survived the major turning point. The death flag is gone. Back at the villa, Ryan was restless. He had sensed the strange coincidence of Sarah's presence. She keeps appearing, he said, pacing the bedroom. First the wallet, then the truck, now the wine. It's like the universe is trying to put her in my path. I sat on the bed, watching the final comments fade into a soft gold glow. The ending is near. Lucy has successfully consolidated the ML's heart. The system is shutting down. Final advice. The ML's hidden fear is that you only love him for his protection. Tell him the truth. I stood up and walked to Ryan, stopping his pacing. I wrapped my arms around his neck. Ryan, do you want to know why I stayed? When you said you were bankrupt. He stopped, his body tensing. Why? Because, I whispered. I've spent my whole life looking for a man who would lie to the world just to see if I'd hold his hand in the dark. You're a liar, a manipulator, and you're far too obsessed with me. He smirked, his hand sliding down to my hips. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't love you because you're a Johnson. I love you because you're the only person in this world who makes me feel more alive than the script I'm supposed to follow. He didn't understand the script part, but he understood the rest. He picked me up, his laughter echoing against the stone walls of the villa. System closing. Final status. Lucy Gold Digger, true queen. Enjoy your happily ever after, you magnificent bitch. Months later, we were back in the city. The Johnson Corporation was stronger than ever. Sarah had faded into a successful, if unremarkable, modeling career. Her heroine status lost to the wind. I was sitting in Ryan's office, spinning in his leather chair. Mr. Johnson, I said, looking at the bank notification on my phone. You just transferred another $5 million into my personal account. Are you trying to buy my affection again? Ryan looked up from his laptop, a glimmer of that old, sinister possessiveness in his eyes. No, that's just the after-sales service fee for last night. I laughed, throwing a pen at him. You're disgusting. And you're rich, he said, coming around the desk to pull me into his lap. And mine. I looked out the window at the skyline. No more floating comments. No more death flags. Just the weight of his arms and the knowledge that in this world of pre-written destinies, I had snatched the pen and written my own ending. So, I whispered, nibbling his ear. About that service fee. Do you want to negotiate for a premium package? Ryan growled, pulling me closer. Lucy, you're going to be the death of me. No, Ismilat. I'm the reason you're finally living.